One, two, three. Testing. can start. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. You may all be seated. Thank you. Salam Sajatra and a very good afternoon to our distinguished guests. The Honorable Chancellor of AIU, Nobel Peace Laureate, Professor Muhammad Yunus. The Honorable Member of Board of Governors, Sharifa Sophia Shahid Mokhtar Al-Bukhari. The Honorable Vice Chancellor of AIU, Professor Emeritus Dato Dr. Abdul Aziz Tajuddin. The Honorable Vice Chancellor of AIU, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Innovation, Registrar and the Deans of AIU. The delegation from Sabah Social Entrepreneurs Association, and all the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to welcome all of you to our social business talk today by Professor Muhammad Yunus with the title, Towards a World of Three Zeros, What is Our Role? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olga Rapafadzom Siniwa. I'm from Zimbabwe. Currently, I'm enrolled in my third year of Bachelor of Business Administration, majoring in marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, a world of three zeros is the new economics of zero wealth concentration for ending poverty, zero unemployment, and zero net carbon emissions by Professor Muhammad Yunus. A social business, as defined by Professor Muhammad Yunus, is a business created to solve social issues in a financially sustainable way. A social business is established primarily to pursue social or environmental goals rather than personal economic gain. The concept of social business is still very new in Malaysia and some parts of the world. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that the world needs more social businesses and innovative ideas to redesign the economy. We believe that schools and universities are the best platforms for promoting social business entrepreneurship and cultivating a social business culture, which believes in the potential to do good in an entrepreneurial way. There will be more young generations who want to make a difference and improve the world. And what is our role in supporting them? For instance, in this year's challenge of the Hout Prize competition, it is about redesigning fashion to become more sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something. Clothing is a basic need. It keeps us warm and dry. It protects us against the sun. What we wear also fills a very important social need, helping us to express both our personal as well as cultural identities. Today's fashion industry is huge. It's the world's third largest manufacturing sector, contributing $2.4 trillion to the global economy. Over 150 billion articles of clothing are produced each year. Fashion employs 300 million people across its value chain, a sixth of the world's workforce. Unfortunately, all this comes at a terrible environmental and social cost. The fashion industry is responsible for up to 8% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. It consumes 215 trillion liters of water a year and accounts for 9% of the microplastics found in our oceans. For the majority of workers, conditions are dangerous and exploitative. Compensation is often below a livable wage, especially for women who comprise 80% of the workforce. The industry must change. If not, the United Nations has little hope of meeting its sustainable development goals by the 2030 deadline. It's time to rethink, redesign every stage of the fashion industry's ecosystem, from how we source textiles and manufacture garments to how we buy them and dispose of them. So, it is vital to redesign, rethink, and reimagine fashion now to create a world of 3 zeros. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hout Prize is a global movement for impact that challenges the youth to solve the world's most pressing issues through innovative social ventures. According to Professor YUNUS, the Hout Prize is a Nobel Prize for students. And it is a great honor for me to become the Hout Prize Campus Director here at AIU. Ladies and gentlemen, to start off our session, I am very pleased to welcome the Honorable Vice-Chancellor of AIU, Professor Emeritus Dr. Abdul Aziz bin Tajuddin, to give the welcome remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Honorable Professor Muhammad Yunus, Chancellor of Al-Bukhari International University, Sharifah Sofia, members Board of Governors AIU, our friends from Sabah Social Entrepreneur Association, SOSI, welcome to AIU. And our friends from YUNUS, Thailand, in Bangkok, again, thank you for staying back. My fellow colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, saya akan bertutur dalam bahasa Malaysia dulu. Tak panjang, nanti Sharifah Sofia dah takut panjang ni. Tak panjang sekejap. Pertama sekali saya ucap syukur kehadiran ilahi kerana kita dapat mengadakan program ni. Dan keduanya saya ucap terima kasih pada pihak sekolah dan pihak guru-guru yang sudi datang ke Al-Bukhari International University. Saya rasa di samping kita mendengar ucapan pada petang ini, saya harap pelajar-pelajar dan guru-guru boleh tengok keindahan dan kecantikan Al-Bukhari International University. Lepas ni susah juga nak masuk ni. Lepas tu nak masuk belajar lah kot. Kita amat bertuah pada petang ini kerana kita dapat bersama. Anda adalah orang yang terpilih kerana dapat bersama dengan pemenang hadiah Nobel. Bukan senang nak datang, jadi ini adalah satu hari dalam sejarah untuk tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dan especially anak-anak di sekolah. Pada petang ini Prof Yunus akan bercakap tentang ke arah dunia yang 3 sifar dan apakah peranannya. Dan sebenarnya kami di AIU ni memang menekankan aspek 3 zeros. Selain daripada social business sebagai kami punya niche area, 3 zeros is another thing that we are stressing. Kami tekankan begini juga. Dan untuk makluman anda semua bahawa kami di AIU ni semua pelajar dan semua staff kena menjadi kelab kepada salah satu zero ni. Kalau tidak, markah dia akan dapat zero. Jadi itu keseriusan yang kami akan lakukan, dan banyak projek sebenarnya yang telah kami lakukan untuk memastikan Distri Zero bukan setakat khayalan, bukan setakat impian, tetapi sebenarnya sebagai satu kenyataan. Dan ini benda-benda yang memang kami serius. Dan universiti ini akan jadi unik, antara lain adalah tentang kehebatan kami tentang social business dan juga tentang berkaitan dengan 3 zeros. Dan nanti tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dan anak-anak semua akan berpeluang keluar dan tengok kami ada booth. We have a booth that tunjuk apa yang kami lakukan berkaitan dengan 3 zero. Misalnya dalam kes zero carbon emission, apa yang kita buat dan sebagainya. Jadi ini dapat dilihat. Untuk makluman semua, hari ini kita ada banyak daripada sekolah-sekolah sekitar di Alustar ni. Dan harapan saya juga apabila mendengar ucapan dari Profesor Yunus, in order selepas ini supaya anda juga akan terlibat, terutamanya pelajar, boleh melibat dalam program-program yang berkaitan dengan 3 zero. Boleh buat kelab dan sebagainya, dan kalau memerlukan bantuan daripada AIU, kami amat-amat berbesar hati untuk membantu. Karena harapan kami bukan setakat pelajar-pelajar kami dan staf-staf kami yang terlibat, kami menghendaki bahawa sekurang-kurangnya awalnya ni persekitaran di AIU ni dan juga di SIG dan Baling yang kami tetapkan akan cuba menghayati konsep 3 zero ni. Dan insya-Allah perkara ini akan berkembang, dan insya-Allah masalah yang kita hadapi ini antara lain akan membantu dalam kita nak menyelesaikannya. Jadi once again Prof, I take the opportunity to thank you. I think your program is very hectic, minimal rest, always on your toes, and we are very fortunate that you are happy to be with us this morning and now with a slightly different audience for you to talk about towards a world of 3 zeros, what is our role. And I believe Prof Yunus will allow you to ask questions probably if you want to get clarification later on. Once again, kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan semua, terima kasih. Thank you very much. I hope you will not only enjoy the talk but will get a lot of benefit from the deliberation that Prof Yunus is going to inform us this afternoon, insyaAllah. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Emeritus Dato Dr. Abdul Aziz. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored to have with us the representatives of Sabah Social Entrepreneur Association, or SOSIA. There are about 62 social entrepreneurs in Sabah today. SOSIA is dedicated to connect Sabahan social entrepreneurs for networking and collaboration. We at AIU are committed to work and collaborate with SOSIA to establish and strengthen the presence of social business and the 3 Zero Club in Sabah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Sabah Social Entrepreneurs Association delegation. The 3 Zero Club is an initiative towards achieving the Nobel Peace Laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus's vision of creating a world of 3 zeros. 0 net carbon emission, 0 wealth concentration for ending poverty, and 0 unemployment by unleashing entrepreneurship in all. In AIU itself, we already have more than 10 3 Zero clubs registered with the 3 Zero Global Center in Dhaka. And we would like to encourage all of you to form a club, and together we can work towards creating a world of 3 zeros. Ladies and gentlemen, today is indeed a very special day for us to be having the opportunity to have a talk session with Professor Muhammad Yunus. Prof. Yunus pioneered the revolutionary idea of social business. Therefore, with great enthusiasm, we may start the talk session now. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Professor Muhammad Yunus.
I think it's easier here to talk. This is too far away. Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm absolutely delighted that we can spend some time talking about the work that we do, and particularly excited to seeing these young people here. Let's give big applause for the young people here. Fantastic. Thank you. Looking at you, I was wondering what I would be doing when I was at your age. First of all, I must tell you, is English okay? It's okay. All right, that's good. That's good. I was worrying whether I could get through. So I was wondering what I would have done at your age. This city that I was growing up in Bangladesh is called Chittagong. When I was in primary school, even when I'm in high school, there were no university in that city. So I had no experience of seeing a university in the city. When we go to travel in the capital city, which is Dhaka, Chittagong is a port city. Dhaka is the capital city in the middle of Bangladesh. Dhaka has university. So we'll watch the university from a distance. We thought, my God, they have so much knowledge in this place. And we look at the students who go into the university, look at it from a distance, always standing, looking at awe. They are going in, they are never dare to enter the university. So that's the kind of respect and distance we had for the university, and unknown. We don't know what they do. They have lots of knowledge in this place. So I'm very happy to see you are not only looking at the university from a distance, you are inside it. What a change that for me, I never had that opportunity to come inside the university. Now you're lucky. They're inside and you're talking to people who are in the university. So that gives you a lot of kind of a push to see things happening in front of you and make your own decisions about what all these things mean to you. So I welcome you for this discussion, and feel free whenever you have a question, we'll try to talk about it, see what it is. Now going back to the announcement part and what was shown about the halt price. I should clarify something about the halt price. I have nothing to do with halt price. Absolutely nothing. But they keep saying, Dr. Yunus said, halt price is the Nobel Prize of business. Could you believe that? They said it again. There's no reason why I should be involved in halt price. Because that's about making money, passion and everything. They said that. You do the business to make money, and that's what you do. I have nothing to do with the world which makes money. But they bluntly says, Dr. Yunus says halt price is the Nobel Prize of business. How shameless people they can be. This is not the first time they are saying this. They said it several times in the past. And I had to send them rejoinder. Look, I never said that. I had no occasion to say such a thing. They said, yeah, sorry. We'll remove it. And this is what happens after many years. I see it in Al-Satar. I'm being quoted that the half price is the Nobel Prize. So that's a very, should I say, shameless way of promoting themselves. And I have to go back and protest again that I didn't say that. So coming back to the work and about the Sabah, what is happening, I was very thrilled that the social businesses are taking place. That idea of business that came to my mind is not because I was thinking of what business should be. That's not how it all worked. It all worked because I see a lot of problems in the villages of Bangladesh, way back, many years back, 45, 50 years back. Extremely poor people. And Bangladesh was known as the poorest country in the world. 86% of the population of Bangladesh at that time, way back, 86% of the population was under the poverty line, meaning 86% of the people of Bangladesh were poor and extremely poor. So that's how I got involved with it, to see if there is something an individual person can do to help poor people. Again, the reason was I was teaching in the university at that time, which is surrounded by village. It's not like a city university. You have a big university right in the middle of the city. It's not like that. It was a university, brand new university, put right in the middle of the villages. So all around you see the village and lots of people, extreme poor people. And that's what hit me. If university has all the knowledge, that's what the university is supposed to be, that they have all the knowledge. They bring all the knowledge of the world in the university. That's why it's called university. The point I raised with the university authorities as a young teacher, if university has so much knowledge, why isn't it spilling off to the village? So that knowledge should help people. If you have knowledge, it should be helpful to people. Otherwise, what is the use of knowledge? Who cares for knowledge if it doesn't do good to people? So this is a kind of a little campaign with my colleagues. I was raising this question. University cannot be an island in the middle of poor villages. Beautiful campus, extreme poverty, side by side. But that didn't get to the university authorities at all. They said, our job is to teach students. I said, yes, that's fine, but teach what? Something to be useful to people. Otherwise, why teach it? So what I did, trying to see if I can do something in the village to help people. So that was the beginning of the work that gradually pushed me step by step into certain directions. I did a lot of little things. Every time I see a problem, I try to see, can I do something about it? So in the process, I did a lot of little things. But one thing kept moving, trying to fight the loan sharks in the village. I don't know what's the Malayan word for, Bahasa word for. Hello. Okay, got it. So that's what we are fighting, hello. The idea is, can I protect people from the loan shark? And I was thinking, how do I protect people from, not people doesn't mean many people, just 1 or 2, 3 people, that's all. I was not thinking at all in big things, just little things that I can handle, I can do. So there I was, thinking how can I protect someone from being a victim of a loan shark? And the idea came. Can you guess what that idea be? How to protect one person from loan shark? Something came to my mind, maybe this is the way I should do it. The idea is, why don't I lend the money to the person? If he needs money, he goes to the loan shark because there's nobody else giving money. If I give the money, he doesn't have to go to loan shark. And the problem is solved. All I have to do, give the money. Luckily, I have some money I could give, a very small amount of money. So that was the beginning of what it became known as microcredit and became global phenomenon. Why is that? Giving some few little bit of money to people, why does it have to be such a big thing? Can you guess why is it so big thing to giving money to people? Because nobody gives it. Only loan shark give it. Why loan shark give it? They grab everything the other person has and ruin the life of the person. So all these people are victims of the loan sharks. And I did it just to protect 1 or 2 or 3 people from the loan sharks. That's all my intention was. I was not thinking about big thing. She and her friends accompanied me to the village because I had a problem. I cannot talk to women. Women will not talk to me. Big problem. I can only talk to men. Like you are separate, they stay separate from me. So how do I explain to them that I want to give money, you can do it this way? The moment I tell, they run away, hide behind the door. So I was very frustrated. I cannot even explain to them. I'm trying to give them money, they're running away from me. So I thought, why don't I bring my girl students with me? They can go and talk to them. So that's what they did. Explain everything. I will stand outside the house where they are talking, away, so that they don't see me. I can't see them. I'll stand under the tree someplace. When my students cannot answer some questions, they will come to me under the tree. Ask the question, what do we tell them? So I help them to, okay, you tell them like this. So this is how the communication began between the men and the women to the intermediation of my girl students. And it became popular with the women too. In the meantime, I started shouting at the banks. I said, banks are absolutely wrong. They do things in a wrong way. Since I'm a professor at the university, people quote me like they are quoting, misrepresenting me. But this time in the paper, they quoted me that I'm saying banks are wrong. And banks got very upset about it, unhappy about it. Why is he saying banks are wrong? So I tried to explain to them, to the bankers, the reason I say you are wrong, banks are supposed to lend money to people. That's their business, lend money to people. But you do it in such a funny way. You lend money to people who already have lots of money. And you don't give money to people who don't have money. I said, this is absolutely wrong. You should be doing the other way. You should be lending money to people who don't have money. After you have done that, then you go to people who have some money. That will be the proper one. Now that you don't give money to poor people, they remain poor. They cannot do anything. If you are a woman, poor, all you can do is you go somebody else's house, be a maid. Clean the house, take care of the animals, take care of the children, cook for them, and get some food. Because they don't have anything else but their own body, that's all. Men can work, again, go to the field, work for you, grow your crops, and you give some so that they can feed themselves. They can't do anything because they don't have money. Why don't they have the money? Because banks will not give them the money. Government tried to solve this problem of agriculture, create agricultural bank, so that they give money to people to grow crops and so on. But again, government banks, agricultural banks give money to people who have land, who have more money. They are the ones who will get. They will not give to the workers. I said, you are absolutely wrong. And I tried to argue with them by saying that not only you don't lend money to men, you don't lend money to any woman. Even if she's a rich woman, you don't lend money. You don't lend money to poor, you are explaining that they cannot pay you back. But what about women who has money, but you don't lend money to her? That's a very funny thing. Their own words they don't apply when it comes to women. At that time, when I was arguing about the banks, not even 1% of the borrowers from the banks happened to be women. Not even 1%. I said, look what you have done. You don't lend money to women. So then I decided when me and my students are giving money to people in the village, I said, let's do it to the women. Because I'm complaining about them, I should complain against me too, because I'm not giving enough to the women. And then I made a policy that half the borrowers, 50% of the borrowers in my program must be women. Very simple decision. And everybody said, no, it's so difficult, it cannot be done. Women themselves keep saying, no, don't give it to me. I don't know how to handle money. These are all illiterate women. At that time, most of the people in Bangladesh were illiterate, cannot read, cannot write. So they're afraid because they cannot count. They think it will create problem for them. Because now that I don't know how to count, if I misuse the money by my fault, my husband will be very angry with me and he will beat me up. So better not get into trouble. Better not take the money, let the life go on as it is. We said counting is not a big deal. We'll help you to learn how to count. And that's why my girl students trying to explain to them how to take the money and so on. And many said, I don't know anything. Why should I take money? And this is a very common kind of answer when we say we can give you money, you can start something. And the women say, I don't know anything. She just wants to withdraw from that because she's afraid. I remember I used to say, I'm talking to the group of women. Now, time has a little improved. Now I can talk to them because they become familiar with me. So I'll ask the question, is there anybody in the group here sitting who cooks very well? Everybody likes her food when she cooks it. And everybody says she cooks very well. I said, see, did you tasted her food, what she makes? Oh, she makes this dish so well. Everybody loves it when she makes it. Then I say, why did you tell me that you don't know anything? You said she knows how to cook. So that's knowing something. Oh, they said, that's not knowing something. Every woman knows how to cook. I said, you know that. How every woman how to cook. So why are you saying you don't know anything? It is a very important skill that you have. You cook, and people like it. If you ask me to cook, it will be a mess. Nobody will eat it. But you know how to cook it. They dismiss that. That's so common. That's not the thing. Then I say, does your husband, when he comes home from the town he's working and he comes home, does he bring anything for your children? Something to eat? Some cookies, some candy, some sweets? Everybody says, yes, of course he does. Then I asked him, where did he get it? He brought it for your child. Where did he get it? And everybody laughs. He bought it from the market. Oh, he bought it from the market. Who brought it in the market? Oh, people bring it for the market. The guy who brought it to the market, where did he get it? And say, well, some women must have cooked it. I said, that's what I'm saying. The women cooked it and he brought it to the market. And your husband bought it to bring it to your child. And the child was very happy. You thought cooking is unimportant. Now this is very important. If you cook, you can send it to the market. If it is good food, people will like it and pay for it. And you have an income. Said, we didn't think about it. I said, you have to think about it. You have a skill which nobody else has. And you cook and send, and people who are eating that food that you cook not only paid for it, they're also enjoying it. And probably they're saying thank you for that. Then we say, well, that may be it. I said, so you know it. Then I'll ask, is there anyone in the group, people who are here who raised some chicken? Because raising chicken in Bangladesh was a very common thing. In the village, you raise few chicken. If you're poor, you raise 3 or 4 chicken. If you're a little better off, you raise 20 or 30 chickens. Because that's what the women can do. And everybody says, yes, I have 2 chicken, he has 5 chickens, she has 10 chicken, and so on. Why do you keep chicken? I ask. Oh, because they lay eggs. So what? What do you do with the eggs? We sell them. See, you sell them. We are in business. Oh, that's not a business. I see, yes, selling is a business. Well, that's a little thing. Every woman knows how to do that. I said, that is the power. Every woman knows it, so you can do it more. And still people will buy the eggs and the chicks, whatever is produced. Then I asked, how many chickens you said you had? 5, 3, 2, 10? Yes. Why don't you have 20? We'll say, well, I don't have the money for 20. How many you got? She says, I have 5. Why didn't you have 30? I don't have the money to that. I said, that's what we're talking about. I have the money. I give you the money. And you bring 20, you bring 30, and raise them. They will lay eggs and sell them. And pay the money back to me. And keep the rest to you. That's your money. They scratch their head and say, maybe, but I don't know how to raise 20. I said, you'll learn very soon. If you know 5, you can, same thing. The reason I'm saying, you know something, but you don't recognize it. Because society never gave you a chance to understand the value of what you do. So finally, they started responding, yes, I'll give this money. And not everybody agrees. Only the daring one, brave one, said, maybe I should take some money. So she will take some money, few ringgits, that's all, and raise some chicken. And she makes money. And all the neighbors get very curious. How is she doing that? And some will get very jealous. I could have done much more than what she's doing. She's not doing it right. I could do it right. I'm always smarter than her. And next time she says, can I take some money too? Yeah, of course you can take money too. So this is how the whole idea of borrowing and paying back everything came. Why is it important in the world? Because whole world closed the door for the poor people. What we did, me and my students did, push that door, make it open. And once you started doing that, next village says, oh, you are giving money to women in that village. Why don't you come to our village? Give us some money. So it is spread from one village to the next village and the next village. Then we created a bank because we are talking against the banks. Banks are wrong, banks are bad. So we created a bank, called it Grameen Bank. What does Grameen mean? It means village. In our language, it means village. So it's a village bank. How did you make the rules for Grameen Bank? because you have to have some rules. When you have a bank, you have to follow some procedures, some steps. If you call yourself bank, everybody says, oh, you have to follow the banks, how they do it, because otherwise you cannot be a bank. I said, okay, I'll see. I look at them, how they do it. Because I don't know anything about banking. I never took any course in banking in the university or wherever. So I don't know anything about banking. I'm just helping women to take some money so that she can produce more chicken or produce some food and sell and have a few extra money to run her family. Now we are a bank. So we have to know the rules of the bank. So what I did, I started looking at how the bank does it. Once I learned how the bank do it, what I did, I just do the opposite. You know, when you learn something, you follow that. In my case, I just not only followed, I did the reverse completely. They were shocked. You are calling yourself a bank and do things like this, it will never work. It will collapse completely. Nobody will pay you back. They will run away with your money. I said, they give you the money back, I have no problem. Why are you creating all this problem? No, for the time being, they will do it, but soon they will not. I said, I'll continue as long as it works. When it stops, then I will think about something else. Until then, I will not change my mind. How did they do reverse thing? Turn around what the banks do, I do the opposite. First of all, as I said, banks don't go to poor people. Banks go to the rich people. So I turned the whole thing out. Banks go to the rich, I go to the poor. That's a reverse. And it's our policy. We never give money anybody who has money. That's a very simple principle. So we only give money to people who don't have money. So we have to be very selective. Even people who have money, they come, give me money. You are giving money, say how much money you got. So she will explain or he will explain, sorry, we cannot do it. You don't qualify because you have money. We give money to people who don't have money. If you know anybody in your village who don't have money, tell us, we'll go to her. So this is one principle, right from the first, we reverse it. They go to rich, we go to the poor. And if you notice banks, I'm sure it's the same thing all over, including Malaysia, banks always love city center. Right in the middle of the city, where all the businesses are located. They have the biggest branch for them. And wherever the business is running, they will put a branch there. They're always stuck with the city. They don't want to go outside of the city. We reversed that. We made it a policy. Grameen Bank will be located only in the villages, never in the city, never. Because we call ourselves Grameen Bank, village bank. Why should I work in the city? And the poor people are all concentrated in the villages. So we reverse another one. Conventional bank go to the city, we go to the village. Any remote village, not only village, but a remote village. The more remote you are, more excited we are. So we reverse that. We have reversed two principles of banking. And then, if you see the bank's branches, wherever you see branches, if you have some experience, banks always ask the clients to come to their office to put money in or take money out. Always you have to go to their office. We reversed it. We made our principle. People should not go to the bank. Banks should go to people. Very simple. And that's what we are doing. We don't ask women to come to our office. If we had asked women to come to our office, our business will be over. Nobody will come because they don't want to go outside their house. They are afraid of all the outside world. So we made the rule that banks should come to people. Today, we are 45 years now since we created the bank. We have nearly 3,000 branches in Bangladesh of Grameen Bank. 3,000. Not a single branch yet is located in any city or city-like business center. We don't have any branch there. Always our branch in the village. We lend out to over 10 million borrowers. 10 million borrowers. Almost all of them are women. 97% are women. We are focused on women. So that's our principle. We work in the village. We don't let people come to us. We go to people. So we reverse everything. And then there is something very more important. All banks get very, very scared when we tell them this. If you borrow something from a bank, always you have to give some assets to them. Some land, some house, against which they will give you the money. In case you don't pay back, they will sell your house. They'll sell your land to get the money back. So this is called collateral. What we did, we made a principle. We don't want any collateral. We'll give money to people on trust. You need money, I give you money. I don't ask anything to be signed, your house, your something, your animal. We don't do that. Everybody gets scared. You cannot do that. I said, I can do that. It's my bank, I can do that. If my money goes, it's my money goes, not your money. So why are you worried about it? And we did that. And still, we don't have any collateral in our banking. We don't have to sign any papers to get money from Grameen Bank. No documents that I borrowed such and such amount. In case I fail to pay back, they can take my house. Nothing like that. That's what the banks do. And we said, for poor people, they cannot give us anything. So forget about that. Since we don't have any collateral, no documents, we don't have any lawyers in our system. You know, in banks, if you want to borrow some money, they will bring their lawyer to prepare a legal paper so that you can sign, everything will be taken to the court in case you don't. We don't have that. We're clean. You need money, I give you money, that's all. You follow our rules, pay back the way we do. That's happy. With the 10 million borrowers in Bangladesh now, we lend out every year over $3 billion to all these people. No papers. Each loan is small, but when you put together, it's a huge amount. So you're giving this huge amount in the hands of the poor women without any legal document. Quite a daring thing. They say, how do you do that? I said, we do it because we trust them. They trust us, we trust them. And that's how it works. They can't believe that you can do such a thing. I said, you know what? The word credit, these are called credit institution banks. The word credit means trust. Whole banking system began with trust. You took that word trust and built the whole banking system now on the basis of distrust. You don't trust your clients. You bring your lawyer to sign papers and so on. So we undo that. So that's what the Grameen Bank is all about. That's why it became known. You can do banking completely different way and go to the poor people and lend money to them, and they change their life. Once you have the money, sky's the limit. You can go as high as you want because you are paying back, you are doing this, and so on. So this is the direction we do that. And that idea of microcredit is spread around the whole world. It started working in Malaysia. You may have heard Amana Ikhtiar Malaysia. So that was idea that came from Bangladesh, and they started it in Penang and other areas. And he started doing in many other countries, including in the United States. Would you believe we lend money to Bangladeshi poor? People say, oh, America doesn't have poor people. I said, lots of poor people. They said, we don't need any microcredit. I said, you need microcredit because there are so many people in the United States who cannot borrow from a bank. They do not qualify. So what we did, we created a bank called Grameen America 14 years back. Started in New York City, Jackson Heights, and expanded throughout the United States. Now we have over 200,000 borrowers, all women, 100% women. Something funny going on there? I'm missing out? Okay. So this is how it spreads from one place to another. And most of the problem that we have created for ourselves in the world is because we design institutions like banking in a wrong way. If banks started lending money to the poor people right from the beginning, there will be no poor people at all because people can take care of themselves. People have all the ability to take care of themselves, but the society never gives the opportunity to let them do that. So I keep saying poverty is not created by the poor people. Poverty is created by the system that we build around us. If we fix our system, there'll be no poor person because people have the capacity to take care of themselves. So I thought I'll share this story with you because how it all began. And I'll stop here. And then the real thing will begin. You have to ask questions. Are you ready? Are you ready to ask questions? You're in trouble now. How about you? Any question from your side? No? Okay. One thing just I'll add while you're thinking about a question. I told you that all these women are illiterate, cannot read, cannot write. So when it started growing, we made it a point, all their children must be in school. So this became a Grameen Bank's responsibility to make sure 100% of the children of Grameen families must be in school. So we took children to school, make sure they stay in school. And then we started giving them education loans so that they can go to colleges, they can go to universities. And they did. Thousands and thousands of students went to college, and many more thousands went to universities, did their bachelor degrees, did their master degree, their PhDs, became doctors, engineers. See, once you open the door, there's nothing wrong with these young people. They're as good as anybody else. Their performance was good. to continue the education and so on. So we have a whole new generation coming out of the illiterate families, becoming professional people, doctors, engineers, and professional PhDs and so on and so forth. So that's another aspect that took out in the way. So if you have no question, I'll stop here and see if there's a question from this side. Okay. You have questions? No? No. Okay. All right. Now we come here. It could be related to microcredit, but doesn't have to be. It could be broader picture or whatever, social business and anything that you'd like to discuss. You can bring it up. We'll be very happy to talk to you. Okay, yeah, please. Go ahead.
Assalamualaikum, Prof. I'm Shazida from University Utara Malaysia. It's very intrigued to know that the lending is based on trust. I just wanted to know how does it work, especially in the governance side, and then how is the bank sustainability of the bank itself? Can you elaborate a bit about that? Because it's a bit amazing to know that you can lend by trust. Of course, for a bank, it's always about profit, but I think Grameen is not. So maybe you can elaborate us, and we really wanted to know in terms of sustainability and how it's work.
Well, to make it a brief comment on that, we rely on trust, but to build a structure in such a way so that it's convenient for them to keep the trust. Sometimes you rely on trust, but circumstances are such, despite your best effort, you cannot keep the trust. So we want to make sure they have the convenience of keeping the trust. To give you a short answer to that, if somebody wants to borrow money from Grameen Bank, we'll always advise her that why don't you find 4 other friends who are interested like you and form a group of 5. So everything in Grameen Bank, wherever we work, on the basis of these 5 women together. And the commitment is we look after each other. If we are 5 here and you want to borrow money, you said, I want so many ringgits for me. What you do, I'll have a small shop next to my house. I'll sell all the handicraft that I make. I'll sell it from there. Yeah, sounds good. But I cannot decide on your loan. Your friends, 4 friends will decide. So you have to explain to your friends that this is what I do and I would like to get so much money. Oh, you're asking for too much for that. Maybe you should ask for this amount. This will be more convenient for you so that you will not have any trouble. If a bank says that, you say, no, you're not right. But only your friend says that because she knows everything about you. You ask too much because you want to make sure you start big. Your friends say, no, you start small. Successful, then take more. So bring kind of some rethinking. And then you thought, okay, I'll take this and do that. And everybody else will ask questions and so on. Once your friends approve it, then it comes to the bank with the recommendation of the group. But there's another stage before it comes to the bank. Group belongs to what we call a center. Several groups make up a center. Maybe 5 groups, maybe 10 groups. So 10 groups mean 50 women. And these 50 women has to meet every week, all together in one place. And discuss their problems, discuss their things, and share with each other what is working, what is not working, complaining about the bank, they are not doing it right, whatever they are. But they have to meet every week. This is important. And if you are not feeling comfortable paying back, everybody will be coming to you. So what's your problem? You tell us. So you tell, it's okay, we'll take care of it. You go back and do the work so that you can pay back. Because we don't want to have any bad record for us. It's a bad record that somebody didn't pay. So we don't want to keep any bad record. We want to be clean. So this is how it works. Every week they have to pay tiny little money. Make it easy. If you have to pay 1 year later, it becomes a big money. For them, big money is a scary thing. But every week I'm working and I kept some money left. I pay back, I'm clean. I feel very good in front of all my friends. I'm clean. So you create a system. And you have this center meeting. Bank's representative will come to you in the center meeting. So you don't have to go to the bank. The person comes from the bank and you tell anything you want to complain, you have a problem or something. So his job or her job is to see how to resolve this, make sure everything goes well. But you don't have to leave your house, leave your front yard. So that's where you discuss and so on. That's how the entire system works. Absolutely, exactly the same. Nothing changed. They have to have the center meeting. They have to have the groups. They have the center leader, elect their center leader every year, elect their group chairman every year. It's absolutely same. In the beginning, they say, are you crazy? What you do in illiterate women in Bangladesh, you want to do it in the United States? They will throw you out. They run after us. They say, we'll do everything you say. And they do. They're proud of what they say. I was just visiting about a month back, one of the branches, which is the oldest branch, 14-year-old. So not all the borrowers, about 100 borrowers, gathered together to discuss what happened during their time. As they narrate their story, they're all in tears about the trouble they have gone through in their life and what this little money helped them. And one woman saying, this is the Bronx is the all-black area. Very violent area. And that's where we were. She was saying, particularly it hit me. So you talk about domestic violence. If you want to know anything about domestic violence, you come to me. I'll tell you what domestic violence is all about. And that's my life. I've kicked around, pushed around all my life. But when Grameen came, things changed. I started making money. My husband started treating me well because she knows that I have money. He doesn't. So he has to come back to me. That's how it works. So, if they have difficulty, yeah, of course they will have difficulty. This is part of life. So we negotiate. And the negotiation is not from the bank. Center negotiates how to do that. And center will say, well, we take care of her, but this week she cannot pay. But we'll take care of that. Next week she'll do that. Because she has a problem, her husband is, or her child is sick. She couldn't run the business. We understand that. Like one thing, as you asked, came out very loud and clear in this visit just a month back. One borrower saying, you know, when we joined Grameen Bank, everybody said, well, you are in trouble. They'll put you in jail very soon because you won't be able to pay. And you have to go to the mafia people, the loan sharks, to borrow money to pay back the loan to Grameen. And they'll never allow you to miss their installment. And that's how we began. And COVID hit us. And we all screamed, oh my God, this is our end. We won't be able to pay anything because all our business shut down. Nobody wants to buy because they're not on the street anymore. We sell street foods. Most of them are street foods, selling things on the street, some souvenirs and those kind of things. So our business stopped, so we cannot pay. So when it began, and we had the center meeting, we are shaking that, my God, all the trouble will begin now. So far it was okay. Now COVID has upset down. The bank staff came. We got so scared that we won't be able to pay. All of us, almost all of us. What he said, he started saying, well, COVID has come. Probably won't be able to meet each other now. Soon we'll have to do it differently. But I came today for a specific reason. How much more money you will need to survive. We couldn't believe our ears. Bank said, how much money you'll need. Instead of saying, give us the money back, he said, how much more money you'll need. And that's what saved us. In the entire COVID period, bank was with us. The Grameen was with us. And we have started doing business again. Now business is perfect, no problem with us. But they were extremely helpful. They gave us fresh investment so that whatever money we lost, we can recover and continue. So that's another one. The bank is not just something following the rules, you have to give the money. It's a very human kind of thing. We work together. If you are in trouble, we are here to help you. We are not going to kind of push you down and to save our rules and so on. The rules are subject to the condition of the person. Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Prof. I am Nidal Mohammed from the School of Education and Human Sciences, AIU. My question again goes back to the trust entrusted to the borrowers. Let's just assume out of 100...
You don't have trust in the trust.
Let's just assume out of the 100 or the 200 borrowers, we could probably have 1 or 2 who fail to pay back based on the period, perhaps because most likely after they have sustained, they have to at least pay the invested amount. But let's say 1 or 2 fail to pay, and as long as there are no legal actions and there are no legal documentations, so what are the other actions does the bank take towards those who fail to pay?
We don't have nothing. That's the beauty of it. That's what the trust is all about. We say we don't have any document. So if you go to the court say, what is your document that you lend money? And we don't have any document. So we promise to them we'll never go to the government, we'll never go to the court, we never go to police, it's you and me, that's all. So that's how it works. If you have difficulty, we can listen, we can talk. And that's what the center, groups, all these things, so that they can resolve these things on their own. We are not going to kill you for not violating a rule. Rules are for people. Sometimes people are in difficulty, like giving the example of COVID-19. All rules fell apart. We stopped our center meeting. You know, we learned something very important during the COVID period. We said, center meeting is impossible now. So what we do, we have Zoom meeting. And people loved that. Women loved that Zoom meeting because they could be cooking their food, taking care of the children, attending Zoom meeting. They don't have to drive their car to go to a place where Zoom meeting is taking place. Parking spaces is difficult to find. And somebody hits your car. Those kind of things. Today, it's very simple. And we meet each other, say hello to each other. How is your business going? And usual center meeting. Is it proper center meeting? Until then, many of the borrowers were paying in cash. They bring cash. But carrying cash needs physical presence. So immediately we try to switch to non-cash. You just push your button, your amount is paid. And you get a confirmation, just like anybody will do. So it became a cashless. COVID transformed the entire Grameen America from the cash to cashless. All the recording is done, all the records borrower has, all in her phone, everything is done. So now COVID is over. One of the pleading they were making when I was there, I'm sure they do it all the time, they were appealing to me, please don't go back to the physical meeting again. We love this Zoom meeting. And we said, if it works, we are not here to push you to a physical meeting. As long as you're happy and we are happy, Zoom meeting is fine. All we need to get together so that we can see how things are and so on. So this is, and because of the COVID, we couldn't go to the office, Grameen office, branch staff. So now COVID is over. Our question is, do we need an office? Because we save a lot of rent. It's very expensive space in New York City. And every city that we work in Chicago, in Memphis, in Miami, in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Houston, everything is very expensive. So if you can skip the office, the concept of office, so we dismiss the whole idea of office. You don't need office. Because you're talking to people on the phone all the time, and have a Zoom meeting and do everything, and the money is transferred with your transference with the internet and so on. So that's how it's done. Thank you. There was a question here? Yes, here.
Assalamualaikum, Professor. Firstly, thank you to Al-Bukhari International University for inviting us today, Sabah Social Entrepreneur Association. So we are very honored that we had the chance to meet our one and only Professor Muhammad Yunus today. So actually we are glad that we are in the part of 3-0 movement. Some of us here is doing natural farming, collecting plastic waste, helping illiterate housewife. And we are looking forward to be a disruptor, to change the system that made our state is the very poor state in Malaysia. So, however, it is a very hard work. It is almost impossible, but yet it's possible with this group of people that we can really.
What is the impossible part? I didn't get it. What is you think impossible?
The impossible part is to make the movement, actually. But we already started. It's possible. The question is actually, is there any part of this world or small village or small community that already achieved the goal of 3 zeros as an inspiration to us in Sabah?
Well, thank you for the question. And I was repeating that impossible part of it. All the story that I was telling here about the microcredit, at every day it was said it's impossible. Everybody said. The women themselves said it's impossible. Banks said impossible. Our education institutions where I was involved, they said it's impossible. You think you are smart? The whole world is stupid? They didn't figure it out all these years, millions of years? You figured it out by yourself? I said, I have not figured it out. I'm trying to figure it out. But I didn't give up. And people threatened me because I'm misleading people, all kinds of things. So I came to the conclusion there is nothing called impossible. It's a state of mind, that's all. As a human being, we have the capacity to make all impossible possible. That's our element that we have as a human being. That's how the whole world came. Everything was impossible. Going to the moon was impossible. Crossing the ocean was impossible. Everything was impossible. But step by step, that made possible. So, in your case, it's not going to the moon, but it's as hard as going to the moon. It's all you need is a kind of a patience, determination, and the right kind of approach. That's all. If your first approach didn't work, throw it out. Try the second approach, how to do that, what the message you gave, how to do that, and so on. And you look for the example. We don't have many examples here. This is just the beginning. The whole 3-0 club initiative began this year. So we are just seeing that clubs are formed, they are communicating with each other, and so on. We have now 37 countries where clubs are formed, and we are about 500 clubs right now. It's growing every month, and we are hoping that they will find their own way. So what we do, we encourage people to connect with each other. It's like you ask any example. You ask your friends in other groups, do you know any groups, any club who is doing something on environment or on water or whatever your focus is, or employment? We'd like to learn something from you. So the interconnection will be the solution. Nobody has all the information in one place. But once you learn how to do that, you share it with others. Put them there. We are facing this problem. This is how we solve. And many people will benefit from that. This is how little gain, little knowledge accumulates into huge, huge courage and the action that comes out of it. So good luck, don't give up. That's the whole issue. And find a way. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Honorable Professor. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm Riazul Islam. I'm serving School of Business, Al-Bukhari International University. I have a small problem. I would like to request you to shed some light on what you have just said regarding COVID-19 and Grameen Bank's operation. Would you please share with us the coping strategies of Grameen Bank during this pandemic in terms of its operational and financial strategies? Thank you so much. Thank you.
I was mentioning just one case of Grameen Bank, Grameen America, where I was narrating the experience that they've gone through and now switched to virtual center meeting and so on. So that inspired Grameen Bank here in Bangladesh to can they switch to virtual and so on. So they are experimenting with it, see how easy, how difficult. They don't want to abandon something unless they are totally sure, because this is working. Nobody complained about that because life continued somehow. Not like in New York City, where city government says everything is shut down. They have to shut down. In villages, things go on. Government says shut down. There's nothing to shut down. It's a family working together and so on. So that way, Grameen Bank in Bangladesh has not adopted those virtual part yet. That's it. Is this the question, that whether Bangladesh has switched to other thing? Is it still working the same way? Yeah, thank you. Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Professor, for a very thought-provoking talk. So my colleague here, we are from the School of Education. We, if possible, could you share what sort of initiatives are there in terms of education? Because like a bank, you know that at the end there are some, even though it's a social business, there are some capital involved. But when it comes to education, we are trying, how do we give the education at the same time make it social business?
Thank you. This is a very important issue that you raised. Grameen Bank is a banking institution. I think it's more so it's an academic institution. Because all these women have gone through a process of learning over time, again, repetitive way, learning from each other and so on. And we have gone through a lot of exercises so that they can be aware of the situation. One thing first we faced, and we want to address that, the problem of toilets. There was no toilet in the village. You go anywhere in the village at that time, no toilet. But we focused on the health of the people, because you can give money, they can earn money, but if they are sick, their children are sick, they are completely trapped. They cannot get out. So we thought we should not miss this point, that if you are poor in health. It goes together. And particularly if you're a woman, all the diseases of the world grab you and your children. So we wanted to get away from that. So we thought one of the spreader of diseases is the toilet habit, because they go out anywhere. So we started a big campaign explaining why toilet is important. We said, you dig a hole, you don't have to spend money, and use it, that's all. Everybody said, no, that's not the way it should be done. I said, that's the way it should be done. So we made a rule. See, it's a constant kind of battle between us and the borrowers, potential borrowers particularly. They want to divide, we want to bring it to them. See, it's a kind of a tussle. So what they did, they were very reluctant to do that. But the new people who are interested, new women who are interested to join Grameen Bank, they will come to the one who already have it. They consult. Can I join? Is it difficult? Would you help me to join? And among many advice, first advice they will go, you want to join Grameen Bank? Dig a hole. If you don't dig a hole, they will not even talk to you. So this become a condition. If you're not using the toilet, we have nothing to do with you. And finally, reluctantly, they will say, okay, I have done that. Now can I talk? I say, now you talk. Then we want to move from the pit latrine to real sanitary latrine. What we did, we created a business, a social business, to produce toilet in the village. Because it's a heavy stuff. If you want to buy it from the city, it costs you so much to bring it home to the village. And people say, it's so expensive. So what we did, we created a company to produce toilet in the village. And then give loans to Grameen borrowers so that she can pay the money and bring the toilet and set it up. And you have your own beautiful toilet. And that was the beginning. As you grow, your toilet grows, number of toilet grows, because each person has to have a toilet. It's a compulsory. No negotiation on that one. We had to be tough, otherwise people say, oh, okay, I have this difficulty, I have that difficulty. I said, okay. They'll say, we don't have a land. Well, you have been doing it all over the place. Wherever you go out, you put a toilet there. That's it. Finally, they did that. Then it has a repercussion in the village. Very positive one. The women in a well-off families who has no problem with money, they have land, they have income, but no toilets. Everybody doesn't have a toilet. So the women in those families, they kept attacking their husbands, their male folk. How come the beggar woman, she has a toilet? We don't have toilets. What's the problem with you? So they were under pressure to come to the toilet company to buy the toilet. We go and set it up and have toilets. So whole village after village, complete toilets. Today, you go to any village, if you say, do you have anybody without toilets? People will laugh. How can you have anybody with toilets? Toilet is something, it's such an essential thing. So this is a learning process, how you do that and so on. And we had workshop after workshop with the borrowers, intensive one, led by, again, Nurjahan. She was the leader of all these workshops. Explain the problems they face, how to tackle those problems, learn from each other, how to deal with their husbands, how to deal with their neighbors, and what kind of attack they expect for certain actions and so on and so forth. Out of that, they identify what are the problems they see in their life. So there's a kind of narration after narration. What are the problems I face in my life? Out of that was created, after months of this discussion in different places, something called 16 decisions about their life. These decisions have to be implemented in our life. Everybody has to memorize all the 16 decisions. These are illiterate women. Cannot read, cannot write. When you print them out, when you give a piece of paper with 16 decisions, she doesn't know what it says. So she has to find someone in the village who can read it out to her. Because the rule is, you must remember all 16 decisions. She takes it very seriously. So she goes to someone, a student or some housewife, who can repeat saying, and in the meantime, she memorizes it. She memorizes all 16 of them. Very complicated sentences, not easy sentences. She memorizes. Then she has to appear for an exam. The exam starts like, okay, give me decision number 11. She says, decision number 11, blah, 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 blah. Okay? What is the decision number 5? Decision number 5 is... Okay, can you say it from 16 back to 1? So she will go 16 is this, 15 is this, it goes all the way. So that you internalize it, everything. Which decision is most difficult to implement? And very common answer we used to get, dowry. Because the decision says, we shall not give any dowry at the time of the marriage of our daughters. We shall not ask for any dowry at the time of the marriage of our sons. In Bangladesh, dowry is a curse. If you're marrying off your daughter, you have to bring lots of money to give it to the husband. Otherwise, nobody will marry your daughter. And if you're poor, you have extremely difficult. You go to the moneylenders to borrow things, and ruin your life just to marry one daughter. If you have 2 daughters, you have 3 daughters, you're finished. The moment a daughter is born, whole family gets shaken. She is the most unwelcome human being on this planet. Everybody feels that she brought bad luck. She's a woman, she's a girl. So we said, no dowry at the time of the marriage of your daughter. This is a commitment. And you never ask for any dowry when you are marrying your son. Because the problem is created by you. Because you're asking for dowry when it's a son. And then you get scared when it's a daughter. If you don't ask for it, you don't have to give. It's a very simple formula. Understood it. It has to be said millions of times, again and again. Dowry in Grameen Bank disappeared completely. So this is just one. Then about the breastfeeding. This is one important thing. Because again, tradition says in Bangladesh, the villages, the traditional thing, you throw away your initial milk, breast milk. You don't feed your child. This is bad milk. And we had to re-engineer the whole thing. This is the best milk. You have to use it. You have to give it to your son, your daughter, whoever the baby is. That's the best thing that will protect your child. Everything that we can communicate so that they can undo the traditional belief that this is a bad thing to do to the son, and so on. So there's 16 of them, seeing how to take care of yourself. It's not the number of children you should be looking for. You should be looking for quality of the children, not the number, because everybody wanted to have more children so that somebody will take care of me when I'm old. I said, that's not the way. It's the other way. We had to go on repeatedly explaining, discussing, and getting their experiences narrated, that how they have been abandoned by their children at the old age and how they suffered, and so on and so forth. So you're not the number, it's the quality. So make sure the quality of the children and have a limited number of children so that you don't have to worry about them, and so on. So all the 16 decision is something of a very basic learning process for them. And whenever they have difficulty, how they consult with each other is a mechanism to solve problems. You have problem with your husband. What? Your husband beat you up. This is a very common phenomenon. Husband beats you up for nothing. So what they do, the whole center will appear, all the members of the center, to challenge the husband. Why did you beat her? So they will challenge. And one story I cannot forget. I was walking through the village, and one guy, a poor person walking through, said, he asked me, are you with this bank that working in our village? I said, yes. Oh, you create so much problem. I said, what do I do? You know what? I'm a poor person. When I get angry, I take it on my wife. I beat her up. And last time I did that, all these shouting women, they came to my house shouting at me. Why did I beat her? Do I have to explain to them? What did you tell them? To tell me what I should live my life? I said, why do you beat your wife in the first place? He said, I was angry, so I was beating her. I said, when you're angry, beat up a tree, not your wife. What if she is angry and starts beating you? How would you like it? He said, no, how can a woman beat me? I said, that's the problem. So you better not beat her. So social pressure came. He's now very careful when he gets angry with the wife because she will be complaining to her center. And all these screaming women will come and challenge him. Why did you do this? Why did you behave like this? And so on. Because wife cannot do anything, but her friends can do. So that's the kind of thing which brought lots of changes in the families and the behavior between husband and wife and all that. Anyway, thank you. So it's an academic process completely, how this is done. And another, it's just a slight thing. They don't read, they do not write. So one of the early decisions we took, now you have to write your name. Everybody got scared. We don't know how to do that. We'll teach you. So we took a whole program teaching every single woman in Grameen Bank how to write their name. They don't have paper, they don't have pencil, nothing. So they have to do it on the soil with a stick. write Saleha. She doesn't read it, but it's a kind of a picture she has to do. And when she does it and somebody says, oh, you are Saleha, she gets so, I'm delighted that they looked at me, they found out my name. And the name had a problem. Women don't have names. When they are born, they are named, as usual. But ever since, she's known as somebody's daughter. Nobody calls her by name. And there are nicknames. The baby or something. It's a very nickname. Not the original name she was given. So she doesn't even remember what her name was. When you grow up, when you're married, you're wife of somebody. Still, they don't call you by name. If you become a mother, you're a mother of somebody. Still, they don't call your name. We said, no, we want your name. Many people had to wonder, what is my name? They had to go search for people who remember what the name was. So that's another process. Completely rediscover herself. I have a name. And that's the name she learned how to write. And the surprise. And she was always holding onto it. This is my name. Thank you. Yeah? Okay, good. So we can finish it here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor Yunus, for your pearls of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, before we end, we have prepared one video presentation about the actions our AIU students are taking to honor a world of 3 zeros. I hope it will inspire and drive you to join a 3-0 Club movement and start taking action to change our world for the better. Let's enjoy the video.
This is our contribution towards
creating a world of 3 zeros.
And with that, thank you very much to all for coming. And we would like to invite you to visit our social business exhibition outside this hall. I am Olga. Terima kasih, semoga kita berjumpa lagi.
Tes. Perhatian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Attention to ASP students. Please remain in the hall because we're going to have like photography session in front of the stage. All right? Thank you. ASP students, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to visit our social business booths outside this hall. Thank you.
you. Rahmi pergi mana tadi? Tak ada.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3.
How many buses do you come by with? 5 buses. How many of
excuse
you?
me.
Yes.
Saya nak pakai mic ni ya?
I'm sure.
Sat je lah. Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Untuk student ASP yang Muslim, kita akan solat asar di masjid yang berdekatan. Alright, selepas itu baru kita bergerak pulang ke Akademi Sains Pendang. Alright, thank you. Thank you.